Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Horn Club. As it's our first ever episode, I wanted to start with a solo that every horn player should know, and it didn't take very long to decide on which one. And of course, I came to the solo from Tchaikovsky's Fifth Symphony. I absolutely love this horn solo because not only is it stunningly beautiful if played well, but it also holds a special place in my heart because it was actually the first orchestral horn solo that I ever performed around when I was 11 years old, with playing with my local county youth orchestra. And even now I remember how it made me feel really stressed. But after practicing a lot, I remember just enjoying playing it because it was such beautiful music. What's amazing is that no matter how many times you come back to this solo, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned player, it never loses its power. It's truly one of the most beautiful horn solos ever written. If you can really get to grips with the ins and outs of this solo, its shape, the phrasing, and the emotion behind it, it becomes more than just notes on a page that sound nice. You actually start to connect with the music on a deeper level. And once the notes are under your fingers and you understand the phrasing, the use of dynamics and airflow, the articulation, and also where to take a little bit of time, that's when the magic can happen. And rather than just focusing on getting the notes right and stressing out about that, you can actually let go a bit and give your audience what they've come for. They want to be moved and they want to feel the emotion in the music. So this part of the video, I'm just going to play through the solo bit by bit and share with you some tips and tricks I've learnt along the way, places to breathe, certain bits of articulation or dynamics, things like that. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing I would recommend is very basic, but make sure before you begin just to take a nice deep breath. Okay, preparation is absolutely everything. If you're well prepared, that first note that you play is not going to split. Okay, when you're breathing, make sure it's in time with what you are about to play as well. Okay, so if you imagine just sort of like a pendulum swing, you breathe in, and then as soon as that pendulum hits the center point, that's where you play. So it's play. Okay, so we go 1, 2. The next thing I'd recommend is make sure you get through to the dotted minim A. Don't breathe too early because you don't need to. As long as you've taken a nice deep breath at the beginning, you won't need to take an early breath. Get through to the A dotted minim. Take a nice deep breath, and that will really help with the diminuendo through the ascending quavers up to those repeating Ds, and then you've got your crescendo going through to the next bar. You lean on that first D and then come away onto the C sharp. Then we have the animando, so we just want to get things moving a little bit, just push ahead just a smidge, okay, not too fast of course, and all the same breathing, all the same dynamics as the first time. Another thing that I personally like is not for everyone, but I think if you can pull it off, it sounds absolutely stunning. And it's basically you take a breath before the last quaver D sharp in those repeating D sharps. And what this allows you to do is get through the entire sostenuto bar in one breath, onto the E and down to the F sharp, and then take a breath after that F sharp. I think if you can pull it off, it sounds amazingly beautiful. So we get to the sostenuto bar, and this is where we want to really take our time. Make sure you take a breath after the E if you've not done the version I've just mentioned. And watch the articulation here. So we've got the slur and then the tenuto on the last quaver and then the held E. And then on the last beat, we've got the slur, but also the tenuto lines. So it's a soft tongue here. And then we want to take our time on that last beat going into the next bar and then back into tempo on the E down to the F sharp. Now with these drops, we want to go from the E to the F sharp. How's the best way of doing that evenly and as smoothly as possible? I found the best way to do it is just make sure you stay on the B flat side of the horn. Okay, so you've got your E fingering at the top there. Just do that. Just put your first finger down to go from the high to the low. If you go onto the F side, it creates a little bit more of a bump on the way down, and there's a risk of you splitting that F sharp. So B flat side first. F side. There's a little bit of a bump, and it's quite risky, so I wouldn't recommend it. So with both of these big jumps now, from the E to the F sharp and then the D to the E, we really want to think about the shape of the mouth. Okay, so not the embouchure itself, but the shape inside the mouth. So something I talk to my pupils about is vowel shapes. So when we're talking about high register, we want E's. Mid register, we want R's. And low register, we want R, R's or Oo's, okay, depending on how low we're going. And so we're starting with an E and then going down to an F sharp. So the E, you're going to make an E shape. And then the F sharp, we want an R. So we're going E, R. Okay? And then the same with the D to the E. Make sure you're still paying attention to the dynamics and the articulation. And also make sure you take a nice deep breath before those ascending quavers into the repeating C sharps this time. Big crescendo, and we hit the animando then, so we want to push on a little bit. Then we get to the sostenuto, really take your time, and then we've got plenty of time for that scale ascending into the next bar where we want to go back into tempo. Then we've got the last bit of this section where we've got ascending quavers, again into repeating C sharps. We have a crescendo and then a diminuendo this time. So we crescendo to the middle of the bar and then come away, and then we land on that con moto. Make sure you really lean on that A and then come away to the G sharp. the con moto, we're joined by the oboe, who starts a sort of new melody, and we are echoing them. It's also marked dolce, so this conversation between the oboe and the horn wants to sound as sweet and delicate as possible. So the very last bit now, we have our duplets played over the top of the strings playing the quavers. Watch out for the articulation here, first of all. It's all tenuto with two quavers in the middle that are slurred. And we've got a nice big crescendo going to the F sharp, so we want to lean on that F sharp and then come away to the E sharp. Don't let go of the support once you get off that F sharp. If you let go, that E sharp is going to split 100%. Okay. So now I'm going to play it all the way through, put everything that we've discussed into context. I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you have any tips or tricks of your own for this solo, or if you have any requests or any feedback that you want to share, please leave them down in the comments. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. And if you want to know about any future videos that are coming up, please hit that subscribe button, and the little bell icon will give you a notification every time I upload a video. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.